Hello everyone, CS Word here with a completely useless piston walkway. I'll go ahead and demonstrate. You stand between the two pistons, you hit the button, and we are off. And like that, we're at the other side. And of course, what would this be if I did make this bi-directional? So again, stand between the two pistons, we hit the button, and now we're heading the other way. Simple as that. So, the reason I say this is completely useless is because it takes just a ton of resources to build, pistons, observers, and stuff, and you only travel at 10 meters per second, which is even slower than creative mode flying. But if you don't want to be as fast as a boat on ice or efficient as a piston bolt, by all means go ahead and construct one of these, and I'll get into the tutorial for that now. So there are two main designs when it comes to making the monstrosity. There's a compact 4x4 design here, and a resource-friendly design. I'll go ahead and demonstrate. The compact design takes advantage of the crawling mechanics. Again, we hit the button, and we're good. And the resource-friendly one simply lessens the number of observers from 5 for each block forward to 3. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate this one as well. Like that. Of course, you can make the resource-friendly one even more resource-friendly by swapping out the bottom row of observers for repeaters and torches. However, for some reason that doesn't like to work on the monstrosity. I'm not sure why, but I'll go ahead and get started with the tutorials. Okay, so to begin with the compact design, we're going to be placing a row of redstone dust 4 watt, and 3 spaces back from that we'll be doing 2 rows of observers on the far ends like this. And then on the inside of those, we'll be having inward-facing repeaters, or observers, spaced out by 1, and offset by 1 on the other side. Now we just fill in the gaps with sticky pistons, like such, and we can even place the regular pistons in front, like that. Now, from here, to get the timings right, the side that has the first piston will have an observer directly in front, and the other side will have one spaced out by 1. And now we just need to make sure we have our redstone dust connected. And if you end up with something like that, same goes for any of the other machines, just simply go to the side where the pistons go, quickly break and replace, and they should be fixed. Now, from here, we're going to be building 2 tall towers of observers in front of, well, next to each of the sticky piston combos, like that, and we place a solid block on top. This is going to power the regular piston when it goes forward. And now we can just build our platforms and put our button in. And now for the ceiling, since it's the compact design, I'll only put it 1 block higher, like that. Make sure you at least cover the front and end pistons, that's all that matter. And if you notice, the gaps here are left empty. You do not have to fill them, but I would recommend so because typically you end up falling through for some reason. And now all we need is a trapdoor to finish it off. Go ahead and go into the crawling animation, hit the button, and we're good. That does it for that design. Now, on to the next. Okay, so for the resource-friendly one, I'll be starting off with a row of observers, like that. And then on one side, I'll be placing inward-facing observers, spaced out by 1. And now all the spaces where we don't have one on the side, we place one on the top, facing down. Now, for the ones on the side, we'll be placing a block on top of and in front of them. Now, we place a piece of redstone dust on top of the block that's on the side. And we can go ahead and place our sticky pistons facing up on top of the observer and solid block, and place the regular pistons facing forward on top of those. There. Now, on the side, we'll go ahead and place an observer on the side, and a solid block, and just like we had on the bottom, do the same thing. More dust, and of course we do the same thing to the other side. More blocks, and more dust. That really does it for this design. I recommend filling in these gaps especially because you easily fall through and can take damage because of it being so tall. And I'll be building the ceiling for this one too high just so I don't have to keep crawling for the rest of the tutorial. And there is that. Now I'm thinking for the button I'll just do a torch tower. So yeah, something like this. Dust there. They go up 1. Second update, they should go back. Perfect. And alright, yeah. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Button. Hit it. Alright, yeah. That works. And for some reason, if you don't go through on this one, it's for some reason random when you're in full screen. I don't quite know why, but yeah, quitting and rejoining the game or doing something like that usually fixes it, or you could just exit full screen. I really have no clue why observers are like that, but that's just the way it is. So, on to building the monstrosity. So to build the monstrosity, we're going to simply combine the 2 designs of the compact and resource-friendly by adding 1 row of observers and slightly rearranging the resource-friendly so that we end up with a gap in between each one, like this, where we can simply shove in the other machine. Now, all we are doing for the compact design is, instead of placing the piston right here, we put an observer facing down and put the sticky piston on top and increase the observer tower by 1, so they are then 3 tall. And when I do the update here, we see that we still get that wavy pattern. And now the resource friendly one, that's not really resource friendly anymore. You see in kind of just move, instead of placing the block there and on top, we place another observer and have the block on top still, and this side just gets an increase by 1. And so if I place the block there, we get that wavy pattern, which is what we want. So let's go ahead and build the thing. Okay, so to begin with, I'll be doing the resource-friendly design first. So we got the row of observers, and now we do the spacing by 1, and now we go ahead and place one on top, and one on top of each of those. Alright, now the compact design gets placed right here, one block higher, and same thing on the other side, and we have it facing the other way, of course, because we want it to go in the other direction, otherwise that's not really going to be helpful. Now we just fill in the gaps right here by having inward facing pieces. Does not need to be there. And there. Now this row, the one that was the solid row for the resource friendly design, we're going to be placing a solid row of observers facing downward, and not only on the ones that are facing inward right here, because the resource friendly design is supposed to have a solid block like there. Right there, and there. Now we can actually just litter this thing with our sticky pistons, like so, and fill in the rest of these. Okay, and I'm not going to put the regular pistons on top yet, because we do need to know which direction they are facing, but that is also more difficult. So we see that the compact design right here is facing up, so we go ahead and build our 3 high tower. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we do the other side, offset by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Make sure they're all facing up still. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3. Now we go ahead and place our solid blocks on top of those. Nope. And we can even place the observers for the resource-friendly design right there. Go ahead and place the blocks on top of in front of them, and the redstone dust. Same thing for the other side. So there, and there. And now fill in the gaps with the blocks. And the reason why I chose to do it this way is so that we end up with a nice pattern on the inside. Alright, now because I don't know which side is which, I'll simply update down here. I saw that this one was the first one to get updated, so this way for the first set. And just make sure we have the diagonal pattern. And of course now the other one is just going to be the other way, but filling in the gaps. So go ahead and place the rest of these. Nope. And now all we need is our walkway and ceiling. So go ahead and put the walkways in. And if you did not know, the ceiling does not have to be glass. I just chose it to be that way for the tutorial. Like so, because I think it looks nice and you can see what's going on. And all we've got to do is simply set up the redstone wiring. For this one, I'm thinking of just doing something simple, like a line of redstone dust. And yeah, so piece of dust there, and there. All right. And now if I hit the button, we see that it works. So I can go ahead and ride it to the other side to hook up the wiring there. Oh, looks like I missed one. Oh yes, I did. So that there, block, and dust. Okay, perfect. Now I simply got to hook up this side, just like before. So it looks like this guy is the one who is in the front. So he's going to get the first observer. And this other one is going to be getting the one spaced out by 1. And of course, if this doesn't work, feel free to, change it, because obviously that's needed. All right. And it looks like both sides are still up, so that's going to be fine, because I think I'm going to just do a torch tower. And that should update it, like so, and place our button. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and test it. Yep, that's all there is. So, feel free to ride this to your heart's content, because that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.